Welcome to my channel. I focus on tabletop role-playing games, video games, and science fiction. This is an important question, whether combat or role-playing is more important. For those of you who haven't seen some of my earliest videos, I started recording videos because we were doing Google Hangouts and we were recording the episodes there. Some of this goes back to some of the earliest episodes that were recorded there. And there was a problem that came up in the campaign. We had ran three separate sessions with no combat. I found them wonderful. I enjoyed every minute of them because there was a lot of fun, it was a lot of role-playing, but there was no combat. And this caused a lot of problems. In essence, it resulted in most of the party disintegrating. Almost everybody who was in those original games left for one reason or the other, because they got angry at each other, they got angry at me, they got angry at various things, because some people thought, hey, this is great, this is fun, we're role-playing, we're doing this, and other people thought, there's nothing for me to kill, so why do I want to play? And that literally was the attitude of some of the people, that you have to have something to kill. That if you don't have it, then, or you're not doing combat. And the reason this is sort of important to me is that I want to reboot my campaign. Things have finally settled down at work, and I hopefully have some time, and I want to do that. And I'm looking at a campaign where there's probably very little combat. And the question that I ask is, would you want to go into a campaign where odds are you won't roll any dice during a session? At least not to hit anything. That you won't kill anything, that nothing will attack you, that it's all role-playing. And the reason I say that is I'm setting up a city adventure where you have lots of plots and intrigues and things going on, but there may or may not be much for you to kill, and you won't have every session where you have to have something to kill. What I did in the past was I made sure that there was always something for the party to kill. And it got tedious for me as the dungeon master, because that's not the focus of the campaign, is for you killing things. But it's the question. And I take a look at it back. If you look back at the history of Dungeons and Dragons, and I started playing from the very first original Dungeons and Dragons, and you pick up the original D&D books, and there's nothing about role-playing. Nothing. You have characters, at least not in the play acting. Let's make a clarification. If you define role-playing as including character progression and things like that, okay, that's there. But there is nothing where you're just acting out. And the majority of the original Dungeons & Dragons books are about combat and spells and equipment. And if you look at the 5th edition, that's the easiest one, the 4th edition gets complicated and so on. Okay, the Monster Manual, I think hopefully most people will agree there's very little about play acting or playing your character in the Monster Manual. And some will argue about a couple of things in there. But and the DMG focuses on the Dungeon Master. Now, the Dungeon Master can play act and things like that, but that's different from the players acting out their characters. So, if you look at the player's handbook, and you get backgrounds, you get races, you get some hooks to do play acting or playing through your character. But there's nothing in the books that say you are required to act out your character. You can just be the one who wants to go kill things. That's true with any class. Whether you're the magic user or the wizard, the sorcerer, whatever, or you're the fighter, or you're even arguably the cleric. any of those, they want to go out and kill things. So my question, it's a very serious question, to me at least, would you want to play in a campaign where if you kill things, you will probably die? And I mean that. What happens is that you're going to be in a city adventure, and if you kill one of the town, basically police officers, one of the city guard, will you succeed? Well, I don't play it where you can, you kill him and you hide the body. No, they're going to come hunting for him. They're going to be looking for clues. They'll round up the usual suspects, which may be your party because you're new. You haven't lived there forever, so you'll be one of the usual suspects. They'll round up, they may use persuasion techniques, shall we say. We're talking a medieval setting, so we don't have the niceties of the Geneva Conventions or things like that prohibiting extreme interrogation techniques were the norm. If you look back at England 100 years ago, 200 years ago, okay, maybe longer than that, 500 years ago, if you put at the time of the Tudors. I loved the series The Tudors, which talked about, and you saw some of the things that were done. They burned people at the stake. They did, there were terrible things that they did, beheading and everything that's like that. And you can do that in Dungeons and Dragons. I have done that. I've had the party come in, and when they came into the first city, when I first time I ran the Tiglath campaign, they walked into the city, and the city guard were executing justice on one of their own. One of the soldiers had raped a lady of the town, and they killed him, and things like that. So there were, martial laws with regard to that. They had other things happen. I've had things happen to characters during the adventures. Well, won't go into that, but because they did stupid things. I had someone attack a guard. And I've had several characters attack guards in the campaign. One they just outright killed. The other one, that one is a whole nother story. But that one, no, she, that character regretted that. But she was saved by using a fate worse than death. Shall we just go there? But it's a valid question. Is combat important? And how important is it? Because the books place a tremendous amount of effort. Most of the books are focused on how you do combat and how you progress your class and all the spells and feats and everything else that's wrapped up in there. But if you're in a city and you're interacting with plots and intrigue, do they matter? And is that the kind of campaign you would want, or is that the kind of campaign you would shun? Now, I admit that may not be for everyone, but I just wanted to ask the important question. Should there always be combat associated with a campaign? Because I've done that. That's what after I had the meltdown of the party, I started putting more and more combat, even if they were just little things that I just threw in for them to kill. But I thought that was sort of stretching things. I didn't enjoy it as much as purely play acting your character and how that interacted with the other NPCs in the world. I really look forward to your comments because I want to see what other people feel about this one. Do you want to play in a world where combat isn't that important, where acting out is more important? Thank you. I look forward to learning what you think about this video. Your comments are very important to me, particularly with this video. I want to know if you think combat or role-playing is more important. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. I appreciate both. If you're new here and would like to subscribe, there you can click on the icon on the left, or there should be some more content on the right. Thank you.